going on, guys? This is Fast Derek here in the Everett 328 Production Studios for Moto number 22 of the MotOHIO show here on June 16th, 2020. We're a couple of minutes delayed. We always go live here in the studio at 6:30, and we're glad to be back here for Moto number 22, brought to you by the folks at the Ohio MX PitBike Riders, Reed's Auto Detailing, Smooth Speed MX, and Action Extreme Sports for helping us out. And joining us for Moto number 22, as we always have, the one and only Grip It, Rip It, Kevin Ott. What's going on, buddy?
Guys, it's good to see everybody out there. Sorry for the delay, guys, but we got all the bugs, I believe, worked out. Derek's going over the fine-tuning right now. Give you guys a great show.
Yeah, I was trying to monitor all the comments and get all my ducks in a row, and we finally got everything all lined up, and we are going live here at 6:33 p.m. for Moto number 22, getting all my buttons clicked really quick, and we are.
You're doing a great job as usual, Derek. Always a good job. Always.
And joining us this week, we've got Christopher Wittman, rider coming out of Marshallville, Ohio. Am I right with that?
Yeah.
Right on, buddy. What's going on?
I really don't know.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
That's it, buddy.
Glad to have you in here. I'm going to move your microphone just a little bit closer for you, and I'm going to have you scoot up just a little bit closer as well, buddy, just so all of the folks here in the studio can hear you. Now, number 164, now on, what is it, a YZ85?
Yeah.
Say, last year you were on the 65cc machine.
Yeah, I was still in the junior class, but I was just too big for my 65, so I moved up to 85.
Right on. We're going to get onto that more of that later in the show, and I'm glad to have you in the studio this week, buddy. You go by Bud?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to call you Bud throughout the show. I'm glad to have you here in the studio. I remember watching you ride, all the way back on the little bikes, progressing through the 65cc bikes and onto the 85cc machines, flying under the radar a little bit here in recently. So, because we didn't see you racing a whole lot locally last year because you were, chasing something else. But like I said, we're going to get onto more of that later in just a couple of moments. This past weekend, we were racing.
We did some racing, man. We had an opener.
Yes, we did.
We got the racetrack open. I mean, hats off to everyone that tried to put together some stuff on that health board page or whatever. I don't know if that was 100% the cause of the race happening, but the race happened. That's all that I'm just glad that this is my slow start getting everything back to normal, and I believe that's where we all want to be at.
It was really weird for me going to Malvern on Saturday night.
It looked weird. It just looked weird coming up to the van and you being there. I'm like,
it's just hanging out there all night.
You're supposed to be over there, But yeah, it was cool. It was relaxing, probably for you at least.
Yeah, we had the Flowvision booth set up there at round number 1 of the True MX Saturday Night Series at Malvern Motocross this past Saturday night. What an excellent turnout! What an excellent practice throughout the day, leading into the night program. Practice started at 3:30. Racing started right around 5 o'clock.
They kept it moving.
They kept it moving.
Yeah.
I think everybody was out the door on Saturday night, Sunday morning, right around 1 o'clock. I think is when the last gate was, wrapped up. So racing went great this past Saturday night at Malvern Motocross. And I got to fool around a little bit on the OMPR Pitster Pro FSE 110R in the PitBike class in that first moto. Had a couple of bugs I was trying to get worked out, but
I get it. Yep.
But the track is absolutely killer at Malvern. You were there on Saturday for practice, weren't you, Bud?
Yeah, I was. I actually really like the track changes.
It's different than it was last year. If you guys raced Northeast Ohio in the previous years, Malvern Motocross, you typically came off the gate, made that right turn, and then was just on the rest of the racetrack. Last year, they pulled the old switcheroo on us. Bobby and the whole crew at Malvern Motocross turned the track around.
And they made it a hairpin.
They made a hairpin turn. You came across the start-finish line like right after coming off the gate, and it wasn't bad. It was just different. It wasn't what everybody was expecting, what everybody was used to at Malvern. You're kind of used to a certain track layout. Doesn't matter what obstacles are there at Malvern. Just the track flow and direction has been, drilled into all of our heads because that's just Malvern to us.
No, I'm with that, but now I believe with the management and what's set place there, and they have so many guys down there that kind of really have a really good idea of what's going on for the motocross scene, because I can see that they're going to keep changing it back and forth to keep it fresh and to keep it so that like some riders can't get a home track advantage type per se from it,
right? Because
they're nonstop always adding stuff. The sand roller section, amazing, love it.
Hey, Bobby and the whole crew
they're doing a killer job out there, and when they turn it back around this way, it's whenever you're going along that curve there in the road where the other pitting is over the field. Well, you can't see nothing over there from about 5 p.m. to 7. because that sun goes down
bright.
and it's
Right
like,
in your
man,
eyes.
you're trying to get that first step on to step over, and it's like, man, I can't see nothing.
It's like you try to put.
But it is what it is. That's everywhere. You know what I mean? So
There's
other
always-
than that, man, I mean, Malvern, hats off to you guys. I made my post just a little while ago. It was a great time.
You're right. There's always gonna be that one section of one track where you're
Yeah, it
facing the
happens,
sun.
man. There's no way around it. You know what I mean? The sun sets, and that's where it is. The night race.
And I'd have to give my my hats off to Bobby. Them, the whole track was safe. It was very
Track
safe.
There was no real big dust bowls kicking up. You know what I mean? There was never bad visibility, even in like some of my classes.
All
where
the
it was bigger.
obstacles were relatively
They
safe.
didn't really stagger me with nobody crazy. You know, that was nice. You know what I mean? Like, I get nervous sometimes when
I
they
was
stagger
meaning
us.
the tabletops and stuff like that.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of the obstacles are very safe. There's no obstacles there that are like triple jumps with huge faces into them that you can come up short and get hurt. As for the class structure throughout the evening, that's more like sign up, and the ladies can sign up to take care of that.
Yeah, they did a great
and
job,
they do a
too,
great
though.
job each and every week. But the track was absolutely phenomenal. Bobby put a lot of time and effort into that facility this year. Paint was looking fresh.
Yeah, yeah.
Did they do second Moto podium interviews?
I don't think. They may have, but I'm not. I know I didn't. No, I didn't. There wasn't nobody there when I come on.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know if they did or didn't. I know that in years past, I've implemented the podium that they had there at Malvern Motocross, and it was a lot
Yeah,
of
it's a
fun.
sweet podium.
And it looked great. Everything, the whole facility looked great.
Yeah.
So-
The gates are phenomenal. That gate system they got now is like one of a kind, never messes up, never faults. It's like wham, drops. Dude hits a button, picks back up,
Yep.
and it's pretty smooth. So.
And boom, he's back to do it again.
Absolutely. So
So
I can't wait till he
stagger
puts the
starts.
grates in there. You go, Bob's gonna get them steel grates in there
Yeah.
soon.
I
He's been itching to, you know, and that'd be sweet, man. I'd love to launch off one of those like the big guys do.
that is
That'd
a
be awesome.
professional gate Bobby has at Malvern Motocross.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
he bought that from the same people that the AMA Nationals tracks buy their gates from.
No, for sure.
So it is a track that can utilize the grates, like you were just saying, Kevin.
Yeah.
And a little side note, Ronnie Farmer with the Tri-State Arena Cross Series, he's getting brand new gates, very similar structure. He's getting the grates that attach to those the
Oh,
gates,
sweet, dude.
and you're gonna double stack the Arena Cross gates on those grates. It's gonna be pretty awesome
It's gonna
races.
be really cool. I can't wait to do that series this year. It's gonna be
Tri-State Arena Cross, get a hold of them on Facebook and Instagram for some more information on their series coming up later this year and into the winter. But back to what we were talking about this past weekend, Malvern Motocross, absolutely killer
Oh,
event.
man.
It was
excellent, man. It was just a great time. Everybody
Bikes and
stayed
quads.
together. Bikes and quads. He split us up again. You know what I mean? He did a full track prep after the bikes had went through, so then the quads could race on a fresh motor. You know, what I
Yep.
mean, a fresh
Just
track,
as
fresh
everybody
moto,
does.
so that they could have their thing. And then as soon as the quads were over, intermission, he dissed it back up and really took care of
What
us.
was your favorite part of the new track layout?
My favorite part of the new track layout would probably be the huge tabletop by the woods or the tabletop where you first pull in.
Yep.
It was
Spectator
just-
table
it was
after the
just
whole
fun.
shot.
That was a nice floater.
Yeah, you float.
So I seen Peters over that jump. I don't know how many times. Just
Dude,
It
I
was laying
put
it
one out there
sideways.
so far. I was like, yeah, don't do that no more. I almost didn't bring it back. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy because you're in that turn.
oh yeah.
And it just goes so nice and far. You're like, oh, buddy, come on back, babe. But it was track's great. I love that little
Yep.
straightaway, little single into the corner. I mean, that just everything seems like you said, it flows real nice, and the track just stays super moist and just keeps always got good lines in it. So, like I said, man, that's one of my favorite places. I'll be there tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I'm there.
I was just trying to catch up with some of
Pretty
these.
sure there's practice there tomorrow night, so I'm going.
Check out the Malvern Motocross
You know,
Facebook page.
keep it on the Facebook, you know what I mean? But that's what Bobby told me Saturday night. He said, I'm having practice Wednesday. You here? I said, oh, I'm
Yep.
here.
Getting a
So-
little bit of off-camera affirmation that
Yeah.
Malvern will be having.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what he told me Saturday night, and I was like, he's like, dude, it's going down. I was like, I'm here. Then he's like, I figured so.
Right
So,
on.
and everyone's always like, oh, you always go to Malvern. I'm like, well, it's 10 minutes from home. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, that's.
Just make sure you guys check out the OMA schedule to stay up to date on when Malvern is racing. They have a ton of races left this year. But moving into this past weekend on Sunday, I know that you guys both took the weekend off from
Sunday.
racing purposes. But I went home after Malvern on Saturday and I loaded up, went to Sandusky Valley Riders for their season opener on Sunday, and I was
How was that?
I was behind the horn there. They have a killer PA system. That's just a little side note, little
Cool. So it's nice.
Sounds phenomenal. They have
Nice.
an entire facility there. It's a club ran facility, but they were running motos, right without a hitch. They had like 13 or 15 motos when it was all said and done for the day.
Is this bikes only there? Correct?
It was bikes only,
Okay.
and we were out the door by like 4:30.
Cool.
So I was home by 6:30. It was great. That's the kind of racing that you want to have on a Sunday. You don't want to be stuck there until 6 o'clock.
Until them quads come in. I mean, then you can't really do nothing about it. Then you're bounced up another. I mean, then you got another 10 motos. You know what I mean? If you get them quads put in there, and that's the kicker. You know
There
what I
are
mean?
some tracks. I know Briarcliff in past has been able to, boom boom and have the bikes and the quad motos roll off and then be done at very reasonable times.
Right.
But hats off to the crew there at SVR for keeping the dust down to a minimum. It's kind of
It's hard in 100
it's
degrees.
hard. And when the wind was blowing, I was up in the little water tower area, and I needed to grab my hoodie because it was pretty windy all day there at Sandusky Valley. So that played a factor into drying the track out. But they were there, putting some water down, disking up the high traffic areas, and it was phenomenal.
Awesome.
I was talking to Tim King, one of the caretakers there at Sandusky Valley Riders, and he was telling me that they got 2.5, 3 inches of rain from Friday night through to Saturday late morning.
Wow.
3.5 inches of rain, and the track turned out perfect. There were so many turns that you could have drug a comb through, and it had those lines in the turns.
Corduroy.
It was
Man.
awesome.
I love my corduroy.
A little side note, I was watching practice at Sandusky Valley, and there was a couple of turns where the flaggers were taking their lawn chairs and sticking them out in the turn. I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, if I was riding, I'd want to cut that chair off and take that line to the inside. I was talking to Tim later in the day, and he was telling me that they do that intentionally to build lines on the track.
It makes you better racing.
So it makes for better racing later in the day because those turns, they don't typically bring the tractor in and disc up again later in the day. They just touch them up with a little bit of water and let them go. So they intentionally build lines in practice to make better racing later in the day. So hats off to them for thinking outside the box.
110% facts there, especially for a young man like this. He goes rolling into a rut with somebody that's already down. He ain't gonna have a hard time getting out some of them deep ruts on the minis. So now as your head's up, don't pick that line. You got a few other ones to choose from and might be able to keep you out of trouble.
Hats off to them for thinking
That's
outside
awesome.
of the box.
That's a great idea.
Because what are you hurting in practice?
Right. No, that's absolutely perfect.
You're not hurting anything during practice, so that's a great idea.
I mean,
for some
we've
of these
all
tracks to
done
maybe
that.
implement.
We've all done that on our own practice times at our own practice tracks. You know what I mean? Like, hey, start going to this outside.
use that line.
Let's all do this and see if we can't get it burned in.
What's your thought of that, bud?
I mean, I really like that idea because, like, once you get later in the day when you're riding, it's just nicer to have a deep rut just go right through.
Right, and sometimes whenever it's single file out there, you get a blue groove, and everybody uses that blue groove line, and it just makes for boring racing.
Well, yeah, no, that would be follow the leader.
Follow leader.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you'll just kind of fall into a pace in and you just kind of just follow the guy. You know what I mean? Because you're all in the main line, so why get out of it, But now they've made ultimate.
That's awesome that you think that's a great idea as well, because it builds the great racing lines for good ruts later in the day, and you're not trying to get out in the fluff and power through something when somebody's going to be racing right past you. So awesome racing at Sandusky Valley Riders this past weekend. They didn't have the sign-up numbers that I was hoping for their season opener, but it's
a long ways away.
It's 2 hours, but it's not that bad.
I get it.
It was
2 hours.
It was 2 hours straight across 30.
The problem I had just coming home from Malvern and then trying to make that 2 hour trip. I mean, I'd had to leave my house at 5 in the morning.
How long of a drive is it to go down to Chillytown?
I've never been there.
Would you make an excuse to go down there this year?
Not after a Malvern Saturday night race. I'm too old.
Touche.
But I will definitely I'm going to set up sometimes where I'm going to not do Saturday night race. I'm going to go on that Sunday morning. But yeah, I was really kicking the idea around. My brother-in-law and my nephews just have to go to SBR, but I'm like, dude, I'm too old.
So
I'm too tired.
To me, there's no excuse why you shouldn't step outside of the box.
Oh, I'm going sometime.
And go and race these tracks that you may not have ever raced before, because it's, like I said, it's a club ran facility, so you get a lot of the typical racers that race there and practice there every weekend. So you get your local notables that are at the top of the game. So
Right.
if you guys are the top of the OMA and you're the top of the OMA, go and race against the top of somebody else at their home track.
Right.
Let's see how you stand up.
That's it too, and there's a lot of guys at SVR that don't really leave SVR. So you're gonna go up there and find some guys that can know how to ride that track. Same with Amherst.
Yeah.
Same with like Smith Road or Apple Cabin. You always have your club guys.
I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. But
I mean, that's what they do when they come and deal with me at Malvern.
But
that's what everyone says, and I get it.
That gives you an advantage on everybody else whenever you come to big races like qualifiers and regionals, racing against the hometown guys. So learn different tracks, learn different lines, learn to follow different people, learn to make your own way around different people. So I would just keep on experimenting with different facilities.
Absolutely.
And definitely give SVR a look. I know they have at least 2 more races there this year. I think they're trying to shoehorn in a 3rd. So make sure you guys check out their schedule, check them out on Facebook. They run an excellent facility and an excellent program up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And hats off to the OMA. A successful weekend. It sounded like, so that's always good. Like everything went off without a hitch. There was no problems. Because there's nobody really. With the COVID-19 thing, everyone's got enough stress. So for everything to be running smooth, I think it's just it's a phenomenal situation.
Just checking into some results from this past weekend at Malvern Motocross. There were a couple of notable people in that 65cc junior class. So a class that you recently moved out of there, bud. Landon Yunker, rider coming out of Ashtabula, swept that class with 1-1 results. The 65cc open class, he came back and backed it up with 1-1 results over the Hurricanes 2-2. That's Scotty the Hurricane Hanoud. Another class that I was super impressed with was the Super Mini class. Caden Walton, rider coming out of Pataskala, Ohio, Route 62, Jimmy's boy. Yeah. He's fast. Like, he's no joke fast, and he was having some clutch issues that whole night.
He told me he didn't even have a clutch.
He didn't have clutch. Yeah. That's what I mean. He had clutch issues. He didn't have one.
Right.
So he was down on the line. He was pushing it off the line, jam it and clear, and go. And he was able to reel every single person in and make the passes and find the lines, and able to go home with 1-1 results over Connor Hattery, the number 7 double deuce. Both riders on Husqvarnas, and
cool. Man.
Congratulations to Connor Hattery. He put up a fight. He didn't make it easy on Caden, I'll tell you that.
I bet not, because I know who that rider is too. I've watched him a few times out in some practice and stuff like that. He gets around the track pretty decent.
And just a couple other notable results. Fast Jack Winland swept the 85cc senior class, and he also raced the 125cc class. Moving up to the big bike, Fast Jack's looking pretty good on the 125 bike.
He really is. He really looked really good on the 125. Really comfortable. So that's a blessing. That's good.
Also raced the schoolboy class, and he went 2-3. The schoolboy
class was flying.
21 fast kids racing the schoolboy class. Fast Jack went 2-3 for second behind Jude Rubik's 1-2 results. And let's see who else was pretty notable here.
Who won that second moto in schoolboy?
Schoolboy's second moto went to Jacob Hall, the number 37 coming out of Painesville, Ohio.
I remember that. Yeah.
Congratulations to Darian Congleton with 3-5 results on the TM machine, finishing in the number 3 position overall. Like I was saying, the 125 class was pretty stacked as well. Zach Peters 1-1 over Jude Rubik's 2-2, Jacob Hall's 3-3, and there's Fast Jack racing in that class again with 4-5 results for 4th. So. Yeah. A couple other classes I want to touch on.
Small guys are fast.
Michael Yoger qualified in 3 classes at High Point. He took a step back and came and raced at Malvern on Saturday night. Went 1-1 in the 2-stroke bike class. Let's see where else. He wasn't having the results he was hoping for in that college boy class, but he was racing against a couple of A-class riders. So
Hunter Haas is zooming, man. Yeah, he's really stepped his game up, and I'm proud of him. We moved to A at the same time last year, and he's killing it.
Haas went 1-2 for second behind Trent Yoder's 2-1, and Michael Yoker was there for 4-3 results for 3rd place overall. Talon Harper swept the plus 25 class. Grip it, rip it. Congratulations in that plus 30 class.
Thank you, sir.
1-1.
Start to finish, ain't no other way.
Gate drop the checkers.
That's it.
That's what we call it.
That's the only way we can do it.
Angel Conception did the same thing. Benny Two Shoes did the same thing in the plus 40 class. Plus senior 50 class. Steve Wilmo went 3-1 for the overall. There's the classes I'm looking for. The 250A class. Tony Yusko went 1-1 over Cole Zollers and Jake Fleckler, there he is, with 3-3 results. Working our way to the let's find it here. The 250C class was a pretty good race.
It was the first moto too, man, and it was a big one. My little neighbor was on it at 125.
36.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
36.
So I got to watch it,
the 250C class.
I'd go up and watch him, so I got to watch a little bit of it. And I was like, man, these guys are going.
Jeffrey Benedict was able to go 1-1 and sweep the 250C class.
They all. Not to be mean, but they all were at least C riders too. You know what I mean? Like you could tell they had a few things here and there. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of form. Yes. This and that. Like we're sitting down already. I'm like, that's perfect. That's where the C class supposed to be. Yes, they were going fast, doing some of the jumps, but not out there scrubbing and whipping and doing stuff like that as a C rider.
Right. And did you watch any of the races on Saturday night? I know you were there for practice, and I know I seen your dad later in the day. Did you hang out and watch any of the races?
Not really. Like after practice, we left.
Okay, just kind of hanging out for a better part of the day, and
Yeah.
well, it was great racing nonetheless on Saturday night.
Oh, absolutely, man. Even down to where, I mean, even some of the quad guys like Blake Umbaugh and Cody Hall and a few guys, the national guy, caliber kind of guys that are going and doing big stuff, they were there and they were making it around that track, man. Like they were getting with the program. So I was proud of them. I mean, I can't help it. Whatever, they're gonna come.
There's our Open A Pro Bike class. That's the one I was looking for as well. Tony Yusko also swept that with 1-1 results over Hunter Haas's 2-2. Trent Yoder, the number 428, went 3-3 for third, and there's Jake Fleckler's 4-4 for fourth. Grippet, you're gonna start ignoring these guys sometime.
I already told him this. I already made a post. I'm determined. I've already worked out two times this week.
You're
I'm gonna start
guy.
poking people. Yeah, I'm gonna start poking people because I got Fletcher at Route 62, and I know he had a chip on his shoulder from him. I don't even know who he is. You know what I mean? But I know he was like, you know what I mean? Like he gritted his teeth. So then I almost had him in the first moto, and then the second moto I didn't have nothing for those guys. But hey, man, it was great racing though. Those guys are fast.
Yep, and
A lot of fun. I'm gonna just keep getting that pace, and that should just keep moving me forward for my ultimate goal of Vet 30. Well, that's it.
There's great racing action in the ATV classes as well. Gavin Hooker took the ATV 50 class. Drew Wolford in the ATV 70 class. The ATV Open class was a pretty stacked field with Dash Morris going 2-1 over Blake Umbaugh's 1-2.
What's his number?
Number 11 on the Yamaha.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, because there was a guy that was just at Battlesburg on Sunday, number 535 on a four-wheeler, was doing the big jump in the back on that thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I know
Steve
that
let
is.
me ride with him out there. Like we went out together, and oh my gosh, I was like, dude, it's like another Tim Farr big diver. You're awesome, dude. He was awesome.
Looking here, Josh Raber took the ATV vet class with 1-1.
Sweet.
ATVC went to Ruger Orr with 1-1 results.
How'd Sean
And Blake
do?
Umbaughh
Did Sean
took the
get in
ATV B class with 1-1 results. Sean Pyatt took 3-3 results
job,
for
Sean.
third behind the Kirk's Homemade Ice Cream sponsored rider coming out of St. Clairsville, Ohio, Douglas Porterfield, the number 89 Yamaha, with 2-2 results. That's about all I have from Malvern on Saturday night. I have a couple results from SVR on Sunday. Brock Woodford raced in the 50 junior class. He went 1-1. Looking for a couple of other riders that we may have seen. Landon Hollinger raced in the 50cc open class with 3-3 results. Mason Kelly swept that class with 1-1 results, and Holden Neal went 4-2 for second. That's in the 50cc open class, the little guys.
Yeah, rippers.
Carter Klaus, he was looking pretty good in your 65 junior class, and Austin Smith in your 65 senior class. That's Dave Smith's son, and those two riders came together in that 65cc open class and were battling it out pretty much all race long. That was great to watch. Blake Waldock swept the 85 junior class London Star in the senior division. The dozer, Lawrence Kerman, the number 195 Honda machine.
Flying under the radar always. People would just be thinking like, oh, I don't know, man, that dude's good, man. He rides a good bike. He might not be the fanciest cat, and he might not be the coolest cat. The boy can ride his bike.
Swept the Super Mini class with
Better
1-1 results.
On that 150, wide open.
He came back after a nasty crash in the first turn in the schoolboy class. He was going into that first turn on the 125, and they just dissed it up, and it was a little bit soft and sloppy, and it went. And he tucked, and he went. He catapulted. Oh, he was laying there. He hurt his collarbone. His shoulder was all mangled up. And they ended up waving the red flag in that class, but it was just a track staff error, so he was able to line back up. It wasn't a red flag because of him. It was a track staff error.
Let's say if it was a red flag because of him, it would have been hard for him to line back up.
Correct. Right. And I was a little bit confused because I didn't know the whole story behind it. But it was a track staff issue. They reassessed that, and he lined back up, got a top 3 finish in the schoolboy class after crashing.
Good job, Dozer Carmen.
And then a couple motos later came back and swept the Super Mini class. So he was looking pretty fast this weekend.
Awesome.
Just want to mention in the schoolboy class, he went 5-5. So he didn't have the results he was hoping for in that schoolboy class. But
that class gets pretty quick though, you know. And for him, this is, I believe, his first year on the big bike. So he'll get in the swing of things and get to moving on it.
Hayden King, local rider coming out of that area.
That's good.
Went 1-1 in the schoolboy class ahead of Stephen Kozapaz's 2-2, and Jacob Bilton, rider we've had in here in the studio, went 3-3 for third. He was looking great all weekend in the schoolboy class and the 125 class. He went 2-2 for second. That was Bilton.
Yeah, he's been really coming around. You know, so ever since they got back from that little regional and stuff like that, too, he's got a whole different ball game. He was really aggressive at Malvern and looking really well.
A couple other notable racers that we know. Mr. Ivan Bissett.
Yeah.
He raced in the plus 25 class. He won the first moto and then went down in the second.
Well, it happens.
So
it does happen.
He's super fast. A rider coming out of Fredericktown, Ohio, went 1-4 for fourth. Not the results he was hoping for, but his brother coming from Pennsylvania came over to race. He had some great results in the 250A class and the two-stroke bike class. So Derek Bissett had some pretty good results.
Nice.
The plus senior 40 class and the plus senior 50 class were both won by Mark Beamer. So the plus 50 guy can race against the kids in the 40 class and still hold his own. So
no, yeah. It's where you didn't come down to the 30 class. Usually that's what they'll do. They'll come all the way to 30.
The Vet 30 class was taken by the number 90 KTM machine of Jeremy Nance. We've seen him on Kawasaki machine in the past.
Maybe Amherst Sunday.
Yep.
Is that Neff underneath him?
That's Ted Zwiffel.
Okay, I just seen the Yamaha. I thought maybe it was running Neff.
And Corey Hamilton. Corey Hamilton was looking super fast earlier in the day, but he just had some issues going on and wasn't going his way. He went 4-1 for third.
The fellow that won, I ain't nothing to shake a stick at. Dude.
No, Jeremy Nance can go.
He throws down, dude. Yeah, he's fast.
I was riding with Jeremy Nance.
He reminds me a lot of Dustin Briers.
Yes.
They just remind me so much of each other, dude. I'm just like, dude, it's just like I'm following Dustin again. You know
I rode with Nance, I don't know how many times at Smith Road in Medina. Like, that's one of his places, and I rode with Nance, and we were banging bars, and I was on my 125, and he was on the KX 450, and he's a pretty good rider.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was on the Kawasaki right up until this year, I believe. Now he's on that KTM.
Here we go. Here's the classes I was looking for. The 250A class was taken by the number 22 Yamaha machine. A little bit of goofy bike for him. The Cameron Gooding, nonetheless. Sweeping the 250A class with 1-1 results. Jake Gossard in the 250C class with 1-2 results took the overall. Open A class, Cameron Gooding back in action, 1-1 over 402. Brandon Wren, he was on his KTM. Yeah. Wren was on his Yamaha machine.
Hats off to Brandon, though. He was at Route 62 with us, and he's really riding well.
He is riding great. That's about all I have to say.
He ended up getting Cameron in Route 62. The video was on in the one college boy class. He passed Cameron. Yeah. So I bet them two were cranking out up there together. I'm sure they was.
Yeah.
Cool beans. One more thing. This past Wednesday went up to Smith Road for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to touch base on some guys out there that may be thinking about ever going there. Not a bad place to go spin some laps. I believe it's worth your money. You know, if you're there, I've seen a couple buddies of mine. You know, Todd Sinclair. You ever been to Smith Road?
Yeah, I have.
Not a bad spot. You know what I mean? The main track was here and there. Had some ruts, had some spots. Got a little dusty, but for place to practice and spin some laps. At least it's open, and the facility's been going since like 1940.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of age there, a lot of time there. The track goes back and forth. It's a lot of maybe like tighter stuff to work on some of your corners and stuff. I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I'll go back. You know what I mean? But not if Malvern's practicing. But Wednesday nights, if you're not doing nothing and weather's good, shoot on up Smith Road and get you some laps in.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Glad
you guys could join us for Motor number 22 of the MotOHIO show here in the Everett 328 production studios. I want to thank the folks at the Ohio MX PitBike Riders, Reed's Auto Detailing, Smooth Speed MX, Pro Action Northern Ohio, Action Extreme Sports, Flow Vision Company, Tardesigns, and Defiance Lifestyles. We have a couple of more things on the schedule for this evening's program, but I think I'm going to do a quick bit later in the show and recap on the Baja and Pleasure Valley results and recap on the Supercross results as well. So I think I'm just going to do a quick bit later in the show. We touched on all the things about Ohio.
Our stuff. Right.
We touched on the Ohio stuff, but I do want to recap any of the notable people from Northeast Ohio and Ohio General that may have raced at any of the regionals. So stay tuned later in the week for a MotOHIO quick bit. But like I was saying, this week's show brought to you by the folks at the Ohio MX PitBike Riders. Make sure you go to the OMPR Facebook page. They're trying to get 10,000 members before July 4th, and they're going to give away one of those brand new Pitster Pro FSE 110R pit bikes. They also have a couple of great giveaways going on right now. The OMPR Facebook group does, so make sure you go onto their Facebook page and check it out. They're trying to give away, I think, a chain and sprocket combo kit, give away a gas can, give away quite a few different things from the folks at the OMPR.
That just goes to show right there, like OMPR stepping above and beyond and outside the box to try to make motocross and bikes and stuff in the sport great again. You know, like giving that Moto family vibe You know, like Sean Lowe doesn't have to do all this. It's not like anyone's holding a gun to his head saying, hey, you know, give away this pit bike, do this, do that. No, he's just doing all this out of general kindness, and he wants to do it, and he wants to see people happy. And that's the kind of people I like to surround myself with, so that's awesome.
Yes, you're right, Scott Plessinger. East Fork did race this past weekend. He commented in, hey Scott, I don't have any results, and I didn't have anybody that I know that raced down there, but I do have it on my board in front of me. East Fork MX did race this past weekend down there in Southwest Ohio. I've been down there quite a few times. It's Aaron Plessinger's dad's place.
I'm excited to go try it. Yeah,
it's a killer facility down there.
I'm gonna go check it out because I see some results with some guys down there in my class that I really want to go check out. You know, like there's some fast guys out there.
Them turkeys can go.
Yeah. I want to see him before the battle race, too.
I wonder if Maynard raced down there.
He did.
Did he?
I believe. I think that's where he got fourth.
I have to pick his brain.
I think that's where he got fourth.
Chris Maynard's one of my buddies.
Robinson won, and
wow, Scott Plessinger, 565 sign-ups from the folks down there at East Fork this past weekend.
Yeah, heck of a race.
You think?
Had a pretty good race going on there.
Hey Scott, if you ever need a hand, you got my phone number. So.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, and we're gonna come down and enjoy one of those times too with you.
You ever been down to East Fork?
Ezra Hastings.
Ezra
Hastings. That sounds like a name I know. Ezra Hastings.
Number 51 on a KTM.
258, 458 winner.
Dude, can't
right there's your 258 and your 458 winner.
He's a Supercross rider as well.
That's your 258 and your 458 guy down there. So if you want to get some good competition and you want to get some good gate drops, and I can promise you want to learn how to ride some ruts, head down to East Fork. It'll help you. It'll help you with that corduroy problem.
You definitely give the Buckeye
together.
Series a look. They have a incredible schedule set for the rest of the year. I don't know if they have any races coming up this weekend, but in just a second, Kevin, I'm going to have you go over a couple more of these sponsors. This week's show also brought to provide the folks at Reed's Auto Detailing. I want to thank Reed for helping us out, detailing my wife's truck.
My wife's car, right? We haven't had it done yet. We're going to wait till the baby's almost here so that we can get everything fresh and clean and disinfected.
There you go.
Well, mister, I appreciate it, sir.
Make
Thank
sure you
so
mention
much.
the MotOHIO show to get a little discount on your auto detailing job from the folks at Reed's Auto Detailing. Hey, Kevin, why don't you go over and take over the next couple of sponsors? I want to do some research for us.
Yeah, it's awesome that these guys help us out. You know about Smooth Speed MX with Corey Schaefer-Knocker. He is a really big help. He's really into the sport and really does what we want him to. You know what I mean? And really helps everyone and everything. And Pro Action of Northern Ohio with Bob Harrington. He's always keeping you smooth and safe on the racetrack and helping us out a bunch. And the guys down at Action Extreme Sports down there in New Philly, don't just go to them for the KTM stuff, guys. They have everything you need. If you need a part for your Kawasaki, they can help you and take care of you, you know. And then Flow Vision Company, I had them on all weekend. They're amazing. They don't let no dirt in. They don't let no, you know what I mean? Nothing gets crazy. I stay really cool with them. Have great vision. The tear-offs work great on them. I can't beat Flow Vision. That's been one of my favorite goggles I've had my whole life. You know what I mean? I had Spies for a long time, and then, of course, Ben Smith down there with Tardesign. Can't beat Ben Smith. I mean, he's got some graphics dialed up for me right now, just a protocol, but it is the nicest and coolest looking design I've ever seen. So if you guys are having some graphic like dilemmas and stuff like that, be sure to get a hold of Tardesign down there with Ben Smith. And then for all your t-shirt, hoodies, any of your banners or stuff or anything, even like that, Defiance Lifestyles. They're usually at the tracks with us, and they're always on Derek's Facebook page, and you can go hit that Everett 328 Productions, I believe, code to get a little discount there at Defiance Lifestyles. And I tell you what, guys, that whole line, I really appreciate everyone helping us, you know. And of course, the big main guy helping me, the ground guys of Canton, Ohio.
Right on.
I mean, man, Dan Dykes, we really appreciate you, sir, and everything you do to keep me out on the racetrack.
Scott was saying they have an all-new track down there at East Fork, so make sure you guys check out their racetrack. They have plenty more races coming up later this year. They have their next race coming up down there at East Fork on August 8th and 9th. So make sure you guys check out the Buckeye Series and add some of the races to your schedule. Thanks, Kevin, for going over those sponsors.
No problem, man. I just try to listen to what you say, and I try to do as good. I can't do the Flow Vision bit.
Redefine.
I got him now tongue-tied, you know, but I didn't even try. I was like, I'm just going to mess that up. So I just
redefine your vision, create your own flow instead of Flow Vision goggles or sunglasses. There we go.
There it is.
So thank you, Scott, for filling me in on the gaps that I was missing out. But now we are to you.
What's up, buddy?
Mr. Christopher Bud Wittman joining us for Moto number 22. What's going on, man? I know you've been just kind of hanging out and
listening to us chatter back and forth.
So, what's been going on?
I don't know. I've been just kind of riding around the house and Just riding as much as I can to get some practice in.
Yeah. So what did you do during the whole COVID thing? Was you sitting at home, not able to ride, or did you have special access to a couple of places where you were still able to get some seat time?
My dad built me a track back in our pasture, and I've just been riding there.
That's killer.
That's the best place to ride, buddy. Just keep going, pounding them laps out, man. That's what I did in my own backyard, and it worked out well.
So who can tell you to stop riding except for Dad, right?
Well, no, and it's always nice to be able to walk almost out of your home to the garage in your boxers. Just put your gear on, go right over the hill, do your ride, and come back, walk right in the shower.
Right.
Like, it's amazing. Yeah, it's a really fun time.
That's awesome that you were able to keep on riding during this whole crisis. So
Hiatus.
you didn't really lose anything. You were able to get right back to the track and be pretty much back to where you were before the whole thing.
Yeah, I kind of didn't lose much.
That's awesome. That's because some of us didn't have that opportunity because
I didn't have a bike.
you didn't have a bike.
I didn't have a bike or a place to go ride it. But
You
I had
didn't
a
have
whole
a place
bunch of
to
people
ride.
wanting me to ride their bikes to somewhere, but then I just never linked up with them. But that's neither here nor there. We're good to go now.
So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all set with that. But before we get too much with the up-to-date stuff, let's rewind things all the way back to where
Let's start all the way back to the top.
where it all started. Yeah.
Let's do
How old were you when you finally got behind the handlebars?
I was 2 years old, and my sister had a 50, and I just wanted to ride it. So I
You-
just started riding around the house. My dad bought me a Honda 50, and I went ice riding, and one of my friends had a KTM 50 Junior, and
Started riding
I
it.
started riding it.
You know, I knew
And
that was
then
coming.
for my 5th birthday, that's what I got.
So you got a KTM then.
Yeah.
So you went from the 3-speed Honda to the KTM machine.
Yeah.
So how old were you again?
I was 2 when I first started riding.
That's young.
A little bit. Way to go,
Damn,
Dad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, damn, Dad.
And how old
Wait,
was your
wait,
sister at this time?
I get it.
She was 7.
So she's
Cool.
5 years older than you.
Yeah.
So stealing sister's bike.
She on Big Sis's bike.
Big sis's bike.
Big
At
sis's
2
bike.
years old. Hey sis, I'll show you how it's done.
That's
So
cool, man.
that's pretty cool that you're
That
able
means
to.
the passion is there, young man, and that makes me happy.
Were you shifting gears that young, or did you just stick it in gear, Dad, and let him go?
Stuck in gear, let it go.
Yeah.
Second
That's
gear,
perfect, though.
first gear, second gear.
Second. Nice. So you get a little speed.
Can't get out of control from you too.
Yeah, Johnny got so peppy.
Yeah, don't worry, we got the doggies in here with us. So,
Yeah, they come hang out.
so yeah, you went from 2 years old on the Honda 50, transitioning to the KTM machine at 3 years old.
And then when I was 7, I had my first race. It was at Malvern, and I didn't do the best, but I just started training, and soon I started to get the flow, and I always went and rode at Malvern.
It's a local track. It's a
Yeah.
good place for.
It's like in the central part of everything.
It-
It
it's-
just seems like it's in the hub.
I mean, they have a lot of races. It's easy for people to get to, so it's kind
That's
of hard
it.
for people
It
not to
is.
have it as their backyard track. So I don't fault you for that at all. I mean, that was one of my first places ever, spinning some laps behind
I
the
was like, I
gates.
had a race too.
So, what bike were you on at 7 years old then?
I was still we bought a brand new KTM 50.
Senior?
Yeah, I was a senior,
And
and
how'd you like that one compared to that other one that you had?
it had a lot more power.
A little bit more suspension too?
Yeah.
And like you said, you didn't have the results that you were hoping for. Was it just a learning experience for you?
Yeah, it was my first ever race.
Did you have any experience riding with people on a track before that?
No.
So this was your dad throwing you to the wolves, was your first ever race. You never rode any practices anywhere other than the backyard.
Yeah.
It happens.
Way to go, Dad. So,
I
we've
didn't
been
get
there.
great. Yeah, and
It was broken spokes for me.
I mean, the only thing I did for my first race is like everyone left and then I left. You know what I mean? Like that was my very first one. The second moto, I dove in with everybody.
I didn't see the gate drop and I went.
Well, yeah. Well, that was the only thing Dad told me. He's like, just wait back a little bit. Did you have to wait or did you take off?
I just took off.
That's what's up, buddy. I like it. There we
So
go.
after that first race, did you get bit by the bug? Did you have it in you to just keep on going, or did your parents keep pushing you to it, or what was
I just kept pushing myself and my parents.
you wanted to
and,
ride?
And I wanted to ride.
That's awesome. So that's something that I push to parents is if you're a racer yourself, don't force your kids to do something that they don't want to do. Let your kids pick up the bike. If they want to go ride on the weekends, don't stop them. If they want to go ride, If their bikes are good to ride, let them go ride and have fun. If they want to go race, let them go race. So that's awesome that you had the itch and you just kept on wanting to push yourself to progress. And where were you heading on that 50cc bike? Did you have any notable races back then?
Not really. At like maybe 8 or 9, I started to hit everything at Malvern, and then there was a huge triple after the finish line, and I finally started hitting it, and I did a lot more races after that.
On the 50cc bike?
Yeah, and
that's pretty impressive. I remember that jump.
That's a good jump. That's a good jump on a 50.
So
He's probably tacked out on that one.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably giving her all she had for that one, but that's sweet, man.
And who was your biggest competition back then on the 50cc days? Is it the same people that you're racing with now?
Yeah. Connor Hattery was about, and then Austin Seresna.
Yeah, Seresna's a fast young guy, and I know that you and him have been, riding together a lot, and you're feeding off of each other. We'll say that because you guys do a little bit of riding together sometimes, and you have some training due to some of the local pros, don't you?
Yes, I do. Levi Kobarger.
And when did you start training with him?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? About 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just getting some help from Dad off camera, so
I'm trying to read his thing because I know he might be forgetting stuff, but I can almost answer some of his stuff by reading his paper.
he's got
it going on. I'm so proud of him. Like,
Great
I'm
pages
impressed,
and
bro.
stuff.
I'm impressed. I like it.
Thank
He
you.
means it.
Thank you for doing all that, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, the 50cc bike was a learning experience for you, but that led you to the 65cc bike, and that's where you really started to hit your stride.
Yeah.
And where did you do a lot of racing once you moved to the 65cc bike? Was it still locally, or did you start traveling then?
Well, at first, my first ever qualifier in regional to try to make it to Loretta's, I was on a Cobra 50, and my dad bought me a KTM 65, and I just started to try to ride it around, and I soon got the hang of it. My chain snapped during the regional to make it to Loretta's. And
On the 50?
Yeah, on the 50, and we tried on the 65, and I was one spot out to making it.
So that's pretty impressive, though, on the 50cc bike, qualifying to go to the regionals and then being one spot out on the 65cc bike at the same
regionals just for fun.
regional.
Just thinking like, oh, we ain't gonna be able to do nothing on this bike, and then bam, it's right there. So that was an eye opener for everybody.
That is an eye opener, and that's a big accomplishment for you.
notable.
That's something to put in your back pocket and to feed off of for the next year, which you definitely did. Moving on to the 65cc bike, that's when you really started to have the notable results, and we'll move into this past weekend or this past year. But how did the early years on the 65cc bike go for you?
It went pretty good. After that year, I did some races, and last year I tried for Loretta's and made it.
Right on. And where did you have your qualifier last year? Because last year was the original 3-step process. We had our qualifiers or regionals, and then we had the actual ranch. Was it Redbud? Was the qualifier?
No.
Redbud and
The Briarcliff was a qualifier?
Oh, no, that was regional.
Briarcliff was probably the qualifier, then Redbud was the regional, and then
Yeah.
What was the region?
And
There was a qualifier there.
I crashed. I was at
doesn't matter.
I was at regionals for Redbud, and during practice I crashed, and I got hit. But next weekend, where is it called? Double and Gap, and
Another good Pennsylvania track. District 5 all the way. I like where we're at.
I went out, and my first moto did pretty good, and then it came to my last moto, and that's probably the best I've ever saw myself ride, because I didn't want to let my parents down.
That shows some determination, shows some grit right there, buddy. You didn't want to let yourself down, you didn't want to let anybody else down, and that's
what a lot of these young riders need to know is Dad has just as much almost in this as you do. You know what I mean? Because not only does he want to see you succeed, and he's giving you all the tools to do so, and then if you go out there, like I watch my nephew some of, and they don't try, or they just kind of meh. I'm like, man, that's not what the sport's about. You're not going to get there doing that. So the track you're on, bud, is a great track. You guys are killing it.
Hats off to you, buddy, for having.
That's awesome. I like the story already.
That shows the mindset of a true champion right there, in my opinion.
For sure.
That you don't want to let anybody down, and you will work as hard as you have to work to get that done. So that shows a lot right there. And had a good qualifier. Regional didn't go so hot for you, but you're able to get in and went down to the ranch. Have a good experience down there?
I did. It was very fun down there. All of the activities that they had there and the riding was just awesome. My motos weren't the best. I got taken out a couple motos. I crashed a couple motos. Didn't get the best results, but
First time being
It was
there,
my
it's kind of a
first
learning
time.
experience. Did you get to swim in the river?
yes, I did. It was fun.
Jump off the high wall?
Yep.
Nice.
And
Okay, you just got the whole experience there. That's excellent, buddy. Then you're in
the
there,
swing
man.
rope.
Absolutely, you got a little bit of rope action. That's good for you, man. That was a fun time.
That is
It's nice to
awesome,
cool
buddy.
off in that thing after it's over, isn't it? Woo, it's hot. Yeah.
So I've got nothing bad to say. You started off humble, moving yourself into a state threat, and then qualifying for national. That's a national threat. So you went full circle, buddy. You've made it to the top, and just keep on digging and keep on striving. That's all I gotta say. You're well on the right track, and you've got a lot of good people in your corner. You're getting trained by some of the best in the business, Levi Kilbarger and the whole crew down there. And Chris Whitcraft, those guys go. No joke, they go. And Levi, he can qualify for a national. He did last year. He's good. So keep on doing what you're doing, buddy, and keep on reaching for the stars. And since you've moved on to the 85cc bike, you haven't let the 65cc results go. You're keeping on those results on the 85cc machine. The speeds continue to increase. What's the 85cc bike like for you?
I got a lot more power.
Bigger wheels.
Yeah.
You like the bigger wheels, don't you?
I do.
It kind of smooths everything out for you. It makes everything a little bit more easier for Dad to work on. And a lot easier on your body because he's not putting so many parts on now, and you're being able to ride longer. So everyone's a win-win.
Melissa's
Yeah.
a little...
Once we got off the 80s, I know when I got off the 80s on 125s, being my dad was like, "Thank God." I mean, thank goodness,
Like
because I just destroy them, and I'm sure you were destroying 60s.
The first time I rode an 85, raced one, was at Malvern, and I just loved it way more. I had so much more power, and I just loved the bigger wheels.
Is that
too.
the 2019 Yamaha?
Yeah.
That's the new one.
Yeah.
So they redesigned that YZ85. I had the original 2003 YZ85 that they remained the same all the way up until 2018. Then they re-overhauled it and came out with your bike, and that thing's killer.
Cool.
So really like that YZ85. Was it your choice to go with the blue bike? This is a little bit of a side topic. I was a little chip on my shoulder that you're on the blue machine now, coming from the Honda to the KTM to the KTM
Cobra.
to the Cobra to the KTM to the Yamaha. What's up with that?
I mean, it wasn't really my choice most of the time, but the YZ85,
Was it a shorter bike for you to get on? Was it an easier bike for you to get on and ride?
it was kind of harder because once I get on a bigger bike, it takes me some time to get faster.
Yeah, you have to grow into what you're riding. But as for seat heights, is the Yamaha the lowest seat height?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes it another reason why you might want to go with that bike.
Yeah.
They're strong bikes. I've never had anything against Yamahas. I just never rode them. I tried to ride one in Ballardburg the other day. I can't ride them. They just feel weird to me. You know
Oh,
what I
they
mean?
are.
So
They're weird.
They're just a different feeling bike, especially the four strokes with the tilted engines. I was like, dude, I can feel that thing. I swear, everything's cattywampus.
Just wait till you ride a Yamaha two-stroke. Feels like you're riding a chopper. The front ends are way out there.
It's real weird. So it's good to see that you're liking that bike and that you're feeling comfortable on it now. So we think we're gonna probably stay with the blue machines. Thinking that probably stick on there. I mean, really, I know what your guys' situation are. It's whoever wants to give us a bike. We'll ride a Suzuki tomorrow if they want to hand it over. You know what I mean? If it was free and there was two of them, we'd be on yellow bikes. You know what I mean? But it's that's where my dad was at. He's like, I don't care what bikes someone come in here. They want to ship them in here in FedEx, and we'll ride whatever they want. So that's awesome. And dude, you're gonna have a blast on an 85.
Yeah.
Story's just beginning, young man. You're just a youngster. And you're already on an 80. That's good stuff.
Do you have any? You've reached. I want to say you've achieved all of. I can't say you've achieved all the goals you've set out to at this point. You've reached the places you've wanted to go. But what are some of your goals in racing? Or what are some of your goals in the sport? Do you want to stay in the industry forever? Do you want to see yourself being a professional racer? Do you want to see yourself being a team manager? Or what do you see along your future?
I kind of want to see me being a professional racer. I just want to accomplish motocross.
Okay. Do you want to? I'm sure one of your goals is to have good results down there at the ranch.
It is.
So you're shooting for not only top 5, top 10. You're shooting for a championship down there.
Yeah, I am.
Are you trying to for Loretta's this year, or are you just gonna put the old vertical bars on and maybe try for 2021?
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Just to get some practicing in this year, just get some seat
Good,
time.
we'll go together. Good, we'll go together because I put the bars down for this year too. I'm going next year. Yep, I'm gonna try at least.
Same
We're
here.
gonna see what happens.
Whether
Yep.
it's on a bike or on a microphone, I'd like to go at some point in time.
I understand that.
I did see Kevin Kelly earn his ticket to Loretta's on the microphone, so it's not out of my reach. Yeah, I would like to get a ticket. It'd be pretty cool to have a ticket hanging here on the wall.
That would be sweet, man.
So
We would pan the camera to that ticket.
yes, we would. It'd be right there.
It'd be
What are you talking
somewhere
about?
close. It'd be somewhere close, you know what I mean? But
Do you have those tickets hanging in your room?
I have them hanging in our garage with all my other trophies.
you better believe it. Like some of the trophies might get tossed or this or that, but I still got my vest that says 24 from O2. That's one thing you'll hang on to is some stuff from Loretta's for sure.
Anything else that you want to touch base on there, bud, or are you just in it for the sport of fun right now?
I am.
Right on. Who's all helping you out? Getting you to the point where you are here today.
There you go. You gotta get the old.
There you go. We gotta turn to that one.
Yeah. Mom, dad, sister, MD Motorsports, Mitten Cycle, J&J, Bell Helmets, 100% goggles, Store Gear, Atlas chest protector, and neck brace, and AES.
Right on.
It's so funny. Like I look up at myself in the camera, and I watch myself looking at his thing, and I just look like a goof. You know what I mean? But he has some amazing things wrote down here on his little stories.
So I see a couple other ones.
It's awesome, dude. It is awesome.
have one more.
He
What was
means
that?
it.
Levi and Chris Levi
Kilbarger.
Kilbarger and Chris
Whitcraft.
Whitcraft.
Yep.
There you go, buddy.
Both really good, solid District 11 guys. Absolutely.
I never had BAM Healthy Cuisine. I was driving past there yesterday. What's that place all about?
I really like their pizza. I really haven't tried much else.
All healthy food.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We'll have to give it a go
I
sometime.
will too, because I'm trying to switch up my diet so that I can be more in tune next season. You know what I mean?
Definitely help.
Because that's what I need it.
Definitely
You know what I mean? Because that's especially with my age. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that. Like it's good that he's there, but I probably think he could eat a double cheese from McDonald's and still be faster than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And fall and bounce and be back up. You know, so I was there at one point in time, but I feel like you putting yourself on that track right now. And the only thing I can tell you is if you want to make it to that professional, win yourself a Loretta Lynn's title. Go down there and win that thing on your 85, bud, because you can do it.
Did you mention those guys?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
just did.
Okay. Just making sure because we got one of your main sponsors, one right there, Rob Minton, tuning in.
Go, bud.
Yep.
Appreciate Rob Minton and everything that he does for these younger riders. You know,
Yes,
he's
sir.
really looking out for these guys. He goes and he's on the podium at Briarcliff usually with every racer that he has
Every
up on there.
single one of his
Every
riders.
single racer, and that shows as a motocross entrepreneur and a bike owner and a shop owner, and he has a couple young guys that race for his boys. He's just all in, and it shows,
Yep.
and we really appreciate that.
We'll get the boys back in here for another show
Of
at some
course,
point.
we
in
will. That's
time.
always a good time, and you gotta have Carson come with him because he's like the mediator. You know what I mean? He's bebopping around, he's setting the whole shot
He's a good
device
dude.
in open A and this and that. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you could come in here and join us, bud, for Moto number 22, the MotOHIO show. If anybody has any comments they want to, chime in about, just touching base here. Matt Jocelyn was down there at East Fork this past weekend. He said it was BA. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. I know.
I like to go down there. Ivan Bissett, he was there at SVR. He wants to thank Tim King and the crew, as do I. Tim King, one of the caretakers there at SVR.
Sweet.
He does a lot just for the sport. So
I mean, in keeping one of these racetracks together, I've had my own track and just held practices at it, and it is a lot. You know what I mean? Just trying to keep yours maintained. Like, it'll rain, you look down the bottom, sweep the corner, like, oh, that's clear full of water now. You know, you gotta go try and get it dug out and get this and that. Or he's down there trying to do hole shots, and you're like, can you stop burning your clutch out? Can you not dig ruts with your dirt bike? Because I was like, oh, Dad, I'll drain that for you. Yeah, down there, it gets chaotic sometimes. So for everyone that's putting it together, man, I appreciate it.
you got any plans for this coming weekend?
Uh-oh.
I really don't know.
Don't know? Seat time.
Want to see you guys at Battlesburg on Saturday. That's all practice on Saturdays.
They're running?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's really nice on Saturdays, man, because there's no quads. And they got the big jump in the back now, and it's a lot of fun. I'll be there Saturday morning. I will be there Saturday morning. I know that. But, I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do, but it's a really good, fun place to go turn some laps. Like I said, the quads don't come. We had the ruts waving over the other day.
Actually, Extreme Sports is open 9 to 2 on Saturday. I'll probably be there from 9 to 2, but I might have my bikes in the back of the van, so I might be there around 2:30, 3 o'clock on Saturday.
I gotta go. I mean, hats off to Steve, man. He made that place legit. It's got a split lane. You know what I mean? It's in the middle where you can take either way. So if, like, let's say maybe just somebody's over here, you can still get around quick and just get right onto it. The rollers are completely gnarly. They're all chopped up and they're great. It's like they're just real rough and chunky, and it's just like Adam's been taking over the prep part and the disc and the chisel part. Dude, he's ripping it perfect. They're watering it perfect. Like I said, we had him waving over in the corners. Oh, it was sweet, man. And the jumps are all right up his alley. And I think he can do the big table in the back on his 80. You know what I mean? I think it's doable. Because I've already pictured myself Fowler doing it. I mean, I did it on 125, so I mean, I'm just saying. You know, I did it easily on a 125. You know, I think it's doable. You know, and I say when these little guys are going to end up getting it, it's going to be a cap in it, or you know what I mean, a feather in the old cap. You know, that's going to be sweet, man.
So we're just looking off screen here. We got Chris.
I know, I got his
Bud's dad.
I keep talking to him too. I feel bad for the people home. They're like, who's he talking to in the corner? Oh, just the old figment of my imagination. You know how Kev gets.
All right. Again, I do want to thank you guys for joining us for Moto number 22. Make sure you guys tune in next week for Moto number 23. Coming up this weekend, we have some more great racing action. This coming Sunday, we have another Ohio Motocross Association points paying event up there at Amherst Meadowlark. So make sure you guys check out that facility if you guys are chasing the OMA points. Go up to Amherst.
That's it.
They're a great running.
So it's a great little facility, another club ran place, you know what I mean? And it's always fun. You know, make sure you try to get there a little bit early because you might get stuck out in traffic on the train. The train's always riding by there. Don't try to like, oh, I'm going to try and catch practice a little bit late. You'll roll up there and you'll sit 15 minutes and you'll listen to practice. Yep. Like, so I'm just giving you a fair warning.
So I do think they run bikes and quads up there at Amherst.
Yeah, they do.
So,
they do both. Yep.
So make sure you guys check out Amherst this coming Sunday for an OMA race. I did see they have the Buckeye Series racing this coming weekend at Pochetta Creek.
Pochetta Creek, yep.
Awesome. So make sure you guys check that race out coming up June 27th and 28th. That is this coming weekend. No, that's the weekend after this one. Yeah, that's the weekend after this one. So Pochetta Creek is the following weekend, just, you know, upcoming races in the Buckeye Series.
That's it.
Also, make sure you guys check out your favorite racetracks, Facebook pages, and social media outlets to see if they're open for practice this week. I know Malvern's open tomorrow.
Malvern's running tomorrow.
Pretty sure Route 62 Jimmy down there in Martinsburg's open Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. Yep. Smith Road might be open later this week. So make sure you guys check out your favorite racetracks, social medias to see if they're open this week for practice and racing this weekend.
And don't be afraid to get out there and get your seat time in. Even if you work all day like I do, man, it really has been helping me a lot riding a few little motos in the evening to just get myself more comfortable on the motorcycle when it comes time for that gate to drop. Because I'll tell you what, the nerves are still there when that happens. And they don't go away when you get 35. You're still on the line like, oh my God, this means everything. And if I don't make it, I'm going to die. That's exactly what goes through my mind. Yours? Yeah. When you're on the line, you're like, I have to win this race or I'm not even going to be able to breathe after this. That's what I think about on the gate.
Same thing.
Right. That's I don't know.
That's pretty much everything that I've got for Moto number 22, the MotOHIO show. Once again, I want to thank the folks at the OMPR Facebook group. The Ohio MX PitBike Riders are trying to get that 10,000 member mark by July 4th. Also want to give a huge shout out to Reed Woodring with Reed's Auto Detailing LLC, Smooth Speed MX, Corey Schaefer-Knocker, your wheel builder extraordinaire, Bob and Patty Harrington with Pro Action Northern Ohio, Jeff Ricker, Chuck Bingham, and the whole crew down there at Action Extreme Sports in New Philadelphia, Nick McBride and the whole crew with Flow Vision Goggle Company, Ben Smith with Tardesign, and Rob Baumgart with Defiance Lifestyles. Thank you guys for helping us out. Any last words?
Bye.
Bye. That's a great last word, man. Excellent. Hey, it was good to have you on the show, young man. I hope everything goes good for you. You know, stay safe and keep them rubber side down, man. That's for sure.
Yep.
Dad, appreciate you bringing it.
Yes, thank you.
So, once again, thanks to you guys. Make sure you guys tune us next week, next Tuesday at 6:30 for Moto number 23 of the MotOHIO show.
Log out.